Welcome to Lovejoy, where today we would like to demonstrate the proper installation procedures for the Lovejoy standard jaw and shear coupling. This installation video will show the basic procedures for installing this coupling. Please make sure you have access to the latest copy of the Lovejoy Coupling Installation Guide when performing the installation of this coupling. This document can be found online at Lovejoy's website under Installation Instructions utilizing the Resource tab. Prior to starting this installation, it is always important to ensure the equipment is in a safe and disabled state to prevent any accidental startup. Because of possible danger to the person working on the equipment, you should always consult all applicable federal, state, and local regulations covering the safe operation and maintenance of equipment. This includes, without limitation, the lockout-tagout procedure defined by OSHA. The following components are provided with the purchase of your Lovejoy jaw and shear style coupling. You should have 2 jaw style hubs, a spider, and a retaining ring or collar. Always inspect the components to ensure you receive the proper parts and review the application details to ensure that this is the proper coupling to accommodate your application requirements. If the shaft and the hub both have keyways, make sure you have the appropriate key ready to use when performing this installation. Ideally, the key should be the same length or slightly longer than the hub to transmit the maximum allowable torque. It is always recommended to keep a copy of the jaw coupling installation guide readily available when installing a jaw coupling. This guide contains charts that show the allowable coupling misalignment and the torque settings for tightening the set screws. Some installation guides also contain performance and dimensional information important when confirming the coupling selection. Let's look at the necessary tools we will need to perform this installation. A straight edge, a dial indicator, a calibrated torque wrench, Allen socket to fit the set screws, vernier calipers, a micrometer to measure the shaft diameter, a fine-tooth file, a strip of emery paper, non-flammable cleaning solvent, a clean cloth, lockout-tagout kit, safety glasses, and rubberized gloves. Even though we have disconnected the power to this system, it is always a good idea to check and ensure that the power is off. When you receive the coupling, you should inspect each component to ensure that there are no visible defects, cracks, or damage from shipping. You may want to check the bore size for accuracy prior to continuing with the installation. If not done already, you should measure the shaft and ensure that the shaft diameter matches the coupling bore size. Then inspect the shaft and clean up any nicks or burrs from the keyway or shaft diameter. A fine-tooth file can be used to clean burrs from the edge of the keyway or large dents in the shaft. The emery paper can be used to clear the shaft of rust or any fretting corrosion. Finally, using our cloth and cleaning solvent, we need to ensure the surface of the shaft and the keyway are clean and free of dirt. The hub should also be cleaned to remove any coatings used to protect them during shipping. Before installing the hubs, install the retaining ring or collar on one of the shafts. Next, place the key in the keyway on the shaft. The key should fit snugly into the keyway with no side-to-side movement. The end of the key should line up with the end of the shaft in the hub once the hub is installed. Please note that Lovejoy jaw coupling hubs are manufactured with a clearance or slip fit, and the hub should slide onto the shafts with little or no difficulty. The set screws should be tightened to the recommended torque settings using a calibrated torque wrench. The use of a torque wrench is important. If the set screws are not tightened properly, the hub could work loose and slide on the shaft. If the set screws are too tight, they could damage the key, the shaft, or the hub. We will tighten the set screw in one hub to the required torque, and the second we will lightly tighten to allow for a minor adjustment after the equipment is moved into place. Now we will carefully move the equipment into place, bringing the hubs together until the gap between the hub faces matches the G or gap dimension in the installation guide. This dimension should match the installation document within plus or minus 1/64 of an inch. Tighten the set screw in the second hub to the specified torque value. Lay a straight edge across the hubs to check the basic alignment. If all sides of the coupling are accessible, check the hubs at 4 locations: 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 12 o'clock without rotating the shafts. The offset between the 2 hubs must be less than 1/64 of an inch to prevent damage to the coupling. The angular difference between the 2 hubs should be less than 2 degrees for the jaw-in shear style urethane spiders. If the alignment exceeds the allowable amount, realign the equipment to correct this condition. If using a dial indicator, mount the indicator on the driver's shaft with the sensor touching the hub on the opposite shaft. Rotate the shaft with the indicator to the 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 12 o'clock positions and make notes of the deviation on the dial. If this exceeds 0.030 to 0.047 inches, depending on the coupling size, then adjust the equipment to correct this condition. Next, we will wrap the spider around the hubs, interlacing the legs of the spider between the coupling jaws. Slide the collar over the spider by guiding one of the pins in the side of the collar through a slot in the spider. The pins in the ring should slide through the slot, and the collar should completely cover the spider. Then turn the ring until the pin moves past the raised dots on the side of the spider. When the installation is complete and the equipment is aligned to within the specification, remove the tooling and materials away from the shafting and coupling. Double check tightness for all set screws with a calibrated torque wrench, then prepare for testing. Install the appropriate coupling guard per OSHA requirements and remove the lockout tagout kit from the power supply. The equipment can then be started up and tested. The coupling and equipment should run smoothly. If vibration is detected, it could indicate that there is an issue with alignment or other problems. These could exist in the motor, coupling, or driven equipment and should be resolved prior to placing this coupling into operation. This concludes this particular installation video. We would like to thank you for your interest in Lovejoy Power Transmission products. Please feel free to visit the Lovejoy website for links to other videos and installation guides. You can also contact Lovejoy Customer Service at 630-852-0500. Lovejoy, building trust since 1900.